What if your customers are trying to find your business online, but instead of finding you, they find your competitors? Now, more than ever, it's time to make sure you have the right SEO to make your business stand out online. Welcome to Go Mind Your Business with Terri Bork, presented by Extreme Marketing Concepts, putting your business in front of the hungry herd of buyers who are looking for you right now. Extreme Marketing Concepts, helping you drive more traffic, dominate the market, and crush your competition. And now, here's Terri.
Hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of Go Mind Your Business. My name is Terri Bork, and my very special guest today is Elizabeth Butterfield with Permit Payment Systems. Welcome to our show today, Elizabeth.
Hi, how are you, Terri?
I'm doing good. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm really excited to have you on our program today, Elizabeth, because, you know, in this day and age, having a payment solution for your business is so vital, whether you're a big company or even somebody small doing garage sales from your home. It's so vitally important to have a way for your customers to take payments, so I can't wait for all the great tips that you're going to share with us today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you are listening to Go Mind Your Business. This is the show where you can put your business in front of the hungry herd of buyers who are looking for you right now with your very own press conference. So Elizabeth, let me share with our audience a little bit more about you. Elizabeth Butterfield, she's a daughter, a sister, and an aunt of 9, and a godmother of 3, as well as a mommy of 2 adorable pooches. You're a marketing and merchant payment expert. You are the founder of Perfect Payment Systems, a consulting firm serving all types of businesses in the United States. And you bring more than 18 years of experience to the table, and you provide your clients with perfect payment processing solutions.
I do.
Okay, great. And you studied at Adelphi University, but decided a career in business was more fitting to you. So that's how Perfect Payments, I guess, all came to be. And I know that you are very active in the community. I know that you like to participate in the Christian Business Connection. You're very active in Lions Club, and you actually serve on the board at the Pasco Hernando Chamber of Commerce, and your big brothers, big sisters. And I know that you have a little sister. That's really cool. And you attribute all your success to your faith in God and your friendships. So I do want to welcome you again to our program today.
Thank you. My career started accidentally. I was studying nursing at Adelphi and ended up in a sales position selling raw materials to the personal care industry. And a family illness took me away from that job, and I was in Florida for a short period of time, and my mother, who was ill, took a turn for the better. It was a terminal illness. It turned out not to be a terminal illness. And when I returned back to New York, New Jersey, the job that I had held was not available. And I didn't quite want to stay in the personal care industry, and was recruited by a consultant at a headhunting firm. And he asked if I would be interested in switching my career into what is called credit card processing merchant services, to what I thought was calling up customers and asking them if they'd like to switch to a lower credit card rate. I've had those phone calls. I'm sure you have as well. And I said, well, what's the rate? I figured if it was a lower rate than what I was paying currently on my credit cards, I would be interested in getting a phone call from somebody like that. So I said, sure, yes, sign me up. So I went to the interview thinking that I'm going to sell a lower rate for credit cards, for people's personal credit card. When I went to the interview, I realized I had no idea what I was interviewing for. So I sat before the interviewer, and he said, what do you know about merchant processing? And I continued to answer a completely different question. And he said, I don't think you understand this industry. I said, I guess I don't. And he said, we help merchants. And I said, what is a merchant? And he said, a merchant is somebody that sells things. And I said, okay, and what does a credit card have to do with that? He said, well, when you go into a merchant to pay for something, you use a credit card. And there's a company in between that credit card and the banks. And I was completely confused. He determined that a career in sales in merchant services was not for me, but he decided that my background in technology and various different acumens that I possessed, that maybe installing credit card machines would be okay for me. And at that particular point, I said okay. I don't know why I said okay, but I began installing credit card machines all over New York City.
That's really cool how that all comes to be, right?
It was very interesting nonetheless.
Okay, great. And now you can help new businesses or an already existing business accept credit cards?
Yes, new businesses, my sweet spot is businesses that are already taking credit cards. That is my sweet spot because business owners have no idea what they're paying in credit card fees to their current provider. And my excitement in explaining to either a bookkeeper or to the business owner himself or herself in explaining what they've been sold versus what they are actually paying is an eye-opener for the business owner, that's for sure.
I got that. So, can you share with us what exactly is merchant services?
I'm glad you asked that because as it was explained to me 18 years ago, merchant services is the process by which a merchant, a person who sells goods or services, gets an account registered with Visa and MasterCard to accept payment through a end user's credit card. When you want to purchase something, you use a credit card and you need a conduit, and that is merchant services.
I got that. Okay. So who exactly is the one to offer these merchant services?
There are various different companies that provide merchant services. Most people think that the banks are the place to go. I would beg to differ.
Okay.
And there are independent sales organizations, as our industry calls them, ISOs, and there are merchant service providers, which our industry calls MSPs. And there are direct sales force, and there are independent agents, and there are banks that offer merchant services.
Okay, fabulous. Is there one type of company that fits best for a merchant, or anybody can do it?
Interestingly enough, why I became an independent sales agent for credit card processing merchant services was that there is no one company that fits all businesses. And I learned that after spending many, many years with one particular company, the last company that I worked with, and if I had $1 for everybody I told that having a classic merchant account is not for you, that maybe PayPal is the best route, I would be a millionaire at this point.
I totally got that. So is a merchant account required to accept credit cards?
You must open a merchant account, and you must do that with an agency that is registered with Visa and MasterCard. And having a merchant account now allows you to accept credit cards. And without a merchant account, you may not accept credit cards.
Okay, great. So is the industry regulated, or can anyone sell credit card processing?
On the plus side, the industry is regulated. On the downside, yes, anybody can sell merchant services. And as various business owners will attest to, they have had that cold call that sounded great, and they took a bite of the offer that sounded too good to be true, only to find out that the salesperson didn't stay in the industry. It is a very, very short churn and burn type of industry, similar to the car industry. I hate to make such a comparison, but it is quite similar because out of 1,000 people hired to do merchant services, approximately 10% stay with it.
I get that. Okay, so you want to definitely check the credentials of the person that's what you're working with, and make sure they're
Absolutely.
working with reputable people.
And you'd like to know that they are in the industry for some time. Not to say that a newcomer wouldn't absorb this as their full-time career, but make sure that the company itself has been in business for greater than 5 years.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So what does it take to start a payment processing system?
Well, a merchant creates a business, and they either get a tax ID or they're working as a sole proprietor. Many business owners are just using their social security number and reporting their taxes as they wish. To get a merchant account, you can ask a neighbor who they're using, or you could go and research it on the internet and learn a little bit about credit card processing so that you're familiar with the terms. The reason I tell people to do a little due diligence is that when you open up a tax ID, or if you are registering a fictitious name, you will get inundated with postcards that sound really great. That 1.59 postcard, or various different companies and various different resellers of merchant services will send you a postcard offering 0.59, and you don't know what that means, but it sounds good. No application fee, no annual fee, no this fee. But you want to know, how are they staying in business if they're not charging you any fees?
I got that. Okay. And can I use someone else's merchant account to do my transactions for my business?
I'm glad you're asking that. That is a very clear answer, and the answer is no. If you have a child care business and you are watching children out of your home, you must get a registered business certificate and get a merchant account for your business. You may not run your child care business from your husband's electrical merchant service account. That is against Visa, MasterCard regulations, and a lot of people don't know that. And I have come across that many times, and various business owners think that I am trying to garner their business for such a thing as just simply letting them know the rules.
Got it. Okay. We're speaking with Elizabeth Butterfield of Perfect Payment Systems. If you have any questions for her, she's happy to answer your call at any time. And you can reach her at 813-833-7449, or you can visit her website at www.perfectpaymentsystems.com, and she'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. So, Elizabeth, why are rates higher for the internet, mail, and telephone order transactions?
Terry, the reason that rates are higher for businesses that are conducting transactions that are not face-to-face are higher because the risk is higher. The chances of a business owner not quite knowing who's using a credit card is a potential fraudulent risk. Mm-hmm. So there is a variety of different risks that are involved, and there are fees associated with absorbing that risk with a merchant credit card processing company.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Does it take a really long time to set up a credit card processing system in your business?
It could take anywhere up to 2 hours to get approved for a merchant processing account, up to 2 weeks. Depending on what kind of goods and services, there are various, what I would like to say is an appetite based on a risk department. I represent several companies, and there are various companies that will underwrite certain businesses without any problem. We call them low risk, quick qualified low risk, and they are readily approved. However, any kind of large transactions, you have your air conditioning specialists that install air conditioning units up to the thousands, and that is something that a merchant processing company wants to make sure that you are a credible and reliable source of providing those goods and services before they go and fund you the money that is going to be transacted with the customer's credit card. Deposit that money into your bank within 24 to 48 hours and trust that you are indeed providing the goods and services as promised.
Okay, oh, that makes sense. And so you're saying that funds usually go into a business checking account within 24 to 48 hours? Is that a regulated thing?
The Visa, MasterCard regulations are that credit card transactions must be deposited from point of transaction into a checking account within 72 hours. That is the industry, 72 hours, 3 business days. Okay. So Friday's transactions must be in your bank no later than Wednesday.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay, that's great. Now, can a online system use any type of shopping cart at all, or is that specific?
When you are doing business on the internet, there are various shopping carts that are available to you, and you as a business owner can research what shopping cart would best suit your type of product, good, or service. After choosing a shopping cart, there are various shopping carts that prefer you to use a particular type of payment. So be mindful of that as well, because various shopping carts have a business relationship with a merchant processing company that is allowing them to garner more revenue than you might be comfortable with.
Okay, great. So you definitely want to make sure you're selecting the right shopping cart. Now, can the representative that you're working with help make suggestions and best guide you?
If you're dealing with a representative like myself that's agnostic to what kind of point of sale you choose, what kind of credit card machine you choose, or what kind of shopping cart, you will get that feeling because the person will not make recommendations without asking a lot of questions. A person that's shopping for you and has your best interest in mind as a business owner will ask you a lot of questions as far as what is the product you're selling, how do you want to deliver those goods and services, and do you want to allow recurring billing payments so that your customers can pay over time. Those kinds of questions are critical, because if you're choosing a shopping cart and you want to allow your client to pay for a $100 item in 3 easy payments, you want to make sure that the payment vehicle does not charge an extra fee for those what we call recurring payments. And if you don't know that, you're now under the obligation to pay an extra fee for something that you didn't know how to ask.
Okay, I got that. Okay. We are speaking with Elizabeth Butterfield of Perfect Payment Systems. If you have questions for Elizabeth, please reach out to her at 813-833-7449, or you can visit her website at www.perfectpaymentsystems.com. It's filled with great information for you. You are also listening to Go Mind Your Business, and we are putting your business in front of the hungry herd of buyers who are looking for you right now. If you're ready to get started with your Perfect Press Conference, we're happy to take your call. You can schedule that with us by calling 813-863-1452. We are going to take a quick break and have a message from our sponsor, and when we get back, we're going to learn all about discount rates. And we're back. You are watching Go Mind Your Business. My name is Terri Bork, and today my amazing guest is Elizabeth Butterfield with Perfect Payment Systems. If you have any questions for Elizabeth, you can reach her at 813-833-7449. I want to thank our sponsor, Extreme Marketing Concepts, for sponsoring our program today. If you're ready to dominate your market, drive more competition, drive more traffic, and crush your competition, give them a call at 813-863-1452. As I promised before we went to break, we were going to talk about discount rates and minimum fees and all sorts of the stuff you need to know when you have a credit card business going on for your solution. So Elizabeth, welcome back to our program.
Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Terri.
great to have you here. So I have so many questions when it comes to fees related to merchant services accounts. So is there ever a minimum fee that businesses need to put through an account, and does that matter?
It does matter. Businesses that are small tend to pay monthly minimum fees, because a business that gets set up to take credit cards, generally there is some sort of revenue for the company, and they want to know that they're going to generate some revenue. There are a lot of options for small businesses that don't incur minimum fees. It's a matter of researching those options. One of the options is on my website. It's Perfect Payment Systems, a pay-as-you-go plan. So you're not incurring any fees, you're only paying for credit card processing when you actually need to.
Okay, great. Now, chargebacks, how are those typically handled, and what exactly does chargeback mean?
Chargebacks occur when a merchant sells an item to someone and that person is not at all, it's not, I don't know how to,
Okay.
when a merchant looks at their statement and doesn't recognize the charge, I guess that's the best way to explain what a chargeback is. They will call their card issuing bank and say, I don't recognize that charge.
Okay.
And then the bank will write to the merchant processing company and say, Elizabeth Butterfield does not recognize that charge. It could be that the name of the company is not properly listed, so that if you're buying a tie from Ties America, and what's listed on my credit card statement is TOA, I don't know what TOA is, and 2 months ago, I don't remember going to TOA, but it actually was a tie store in an airport. So when I charge it back, that they are going to make what is called a retrieval request, and they will ask the merchant, cardholders does not recognize charge, please provide a signed copy. And when I get that data on my email, I will now see that that was indeed a valid charge. A chargeback occurs when there is fraudulent activity or a charge was not done with the cardholder's knowledge, and then the chargeback is initiated.
Ah, that makes total sense. Now, a discount rate, where does that come into play?
Okay, that is a very funny story. When I first started in the industry, I was determined not to use any of the jargon because clearly during my interview, when I thought I was going to be selling credit card rates to the end user, the cardholders, I realized that merchant processing, if I didn't know what it was, then nobody else would. So when I joined the industry, they talked about discount rate, discount rate. I know discount is something that you get when you are getting something at a bargain. So how is discount related to a fee? Well, where that started was back when credit card machines were not in existence, they had a book, and they would run your credit card through a book of lists of whether or not that credit card was legitimate. Anybody that was around in the 50s and 60s, they would go to a gas station and give the gas attendant their credit card. They would look in a book and see if your credit card number appeared in a bad debtor's book. And then at the end of the day, the gas station attendant would hand all the slips to the gas station owner. He'd go to the bank and they would discount 4% of all the sales, or 5%. So if the business owner went to the bank with $1,000, they would deduct and discount 4% or 5% and give the business owner the net amount. So that was how discount rate came about. So I still don't use the word discount rate unless a merchant were to say to me, what is my discount rate? Which then shocks me because usually people don't know what that means.
Okay. You know, and then can you dispel a myth for me maybe?
Sure.
Okay, American Express. I constantly have heard people say, oh, I don't take American Express because they charge me double. Is that true?
It's a misnomer.
Okay.
American Express is double the check card rate or the debit card rate. So if you're selling ties, again in that tie store for $100,
Right.
and somebody comes in with a debit card, and then somebody comes in with a American Express card, that is when the rate is double.
Okay.
Never any other time, because the rates are determined what card the customer is presenting. Debit cards are historically the lowest cost from Visa and MasterCard. And that is before the discount rate is added to the fees from your credit card merchant processing company. So American Express has less than a dozen rates. They historically start at 2.7 and go up to 3.5. Restaurants generally pay 3.5%. However, if someone is using a corporate American Express or a corporate, if someone is using a corporate Visa card, already that card has a very high fee attached to it that is based upon what Visa is charging. So it's very close to what American Express rate. Then the merchant processing company adds their fee to that rate. So it will be quite close to what American Express is charging. So yes, it is definitely a misnomer that American Express is double. It is not.
Okay. Okay, that's really good news for me. You know, I remember back in the days of when you used to give your credit card over to somebody and used to come and they used to put it through that machine.
Oh, the
and
knuckle buster.
The knuckle buster? Okay, so they used to have the knuckle buster thing going on, and now everything is so electronic. Do people have to have an imprinter in their business anymore?
I often have heard customers that are coming on board with me for the first time. I ask them, where is their knuckle buster? Where is their manual imprinter? Right now, with the industry being with credit cards having the raised embossed numbers, that is the business norm. If a merchant receives a credit card customer presenting a form of payment and the magnetic stripe is broken, is unable to be swiped through the device, through the machine, what we call the terminal, the credit card machine, the point of sale, they will have to key enter that card. And if they key enter the card, what's to say that the actual customer was in front of you?
Mm-hmm.
So if you take an imprint of that card, you could prove to the card issuing bank that yes, indeed, the cardholder was there. There are various scams that are in existence where somebody will demagnetize their card and go to a place of business, use that credit card, and that is just as in line with somebody going in and stealing an item, except they're using the system.
Okay, I got that. You know, you have a really interesting device hanging from your neck. Can you share with us what that
Sure,
is
this
and
device-
how you use it? Can you hold it up for our audience to see?
I sure can. This device is a free apparatus that is issued from a company, and you could see the application, which is free, on my website, Perfect Payment Systems. And if you click on my hyperlink, you too can get a free device, and it is a phone swipe. And similar to what people are very familiar with, the Square, this encrypted device enables you to accept credit cards on your smartphone. And if your smartphone is one that's listed on the phone swipe website, I will assure you that there will be no other fees other than when you're actually accepting a credit card, and that's important. So I carry this device with me because invariably there is not a day that goes by that I do not run into a potential customer that just wants to take that one credit card a year, one credit card a week, one credit card, or just have the capability to take a credit card. They could be a dog sitter, they could be a plumber, they could be an electrician that never took credit cards. Now they have a means to take credit cards. If they have a smartphone that connects to the internet, generally 90% of all smartphones are on the list, but it is an encrypted device and it is tested by the company that issues this free device, and this application is no cost and it's found on perfectpaymentsystems.com through a hyperlink.
Okay, great. So this would even work now if you are having a garage sale on Saturday.
Absolutely.
And you want people want to buy items from you, they don't have
Absolutely.
cash. This could be a
Absolutely.
quick solution,
Sure.
an easy solution for them. Then they just pop this in, it connects through
Sure.
some type of a portal or something that
It goes
through?
right through the internet. If you could get a signal on your cell phone, you could get a credit card transaction to go through. And the signature pad is right on the screen of your smartphone. I have been contacted through various homeowners associations that are holding garage sales or tag sales because they are selling large items now. People are getting rid of large furniture items, they're downsizing, they're taking on home offices, they're getting rid of that trundle bed, that day bed, and that credenza, and they're selling large ticket items, $100, $200, up to $1,000, where that's pretty risky, taking a check or taking, or having that cash exchange. That's very risky. You can get set up on perfect payment systems for that one day, that garage sale, that tag sale, or just that Craigslist sale that you want to accept a credit card. Even if it's just one credit card, you can get set up, accept a credit card, and never accept another credit card ever again.
Oh, that's amazing. So if you're having a garage sale in your community, give Elizabeth a call at 813-833-7449, and she'll make sure that's all put together for you. Thanks, Elizabeth.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I've heard the terminology three-tiered pricing. Can you explain what that is and how that works for business owners?
Well, it either works or it doesn't, actually.
Okay.
Terri.
Okay.
Three-tiered is what I was taught when I first joined the industry back in the 90s, and that's the only pricing I understood.
Okay.
And the way that I price merchants now is just adding a small cost above what Visa and MasterCard charge. I offer a fair one-time transaction fee and one-time percentage.
Okay.
And that enables my merchants to know that they are paying a fair rate. Three-tiered gets a little bit confusing because those particular transactions are all bundled. So they bundle various card types, and that's not always the best scenario for a merchant.
Okay. All right, I got that. Leasing the equipment, purchasing the equipment, which is the best way to go?
Historically, I ask the merchant with regard to their accounting practices, does leasing make sense to them? If you are in a business that is in and around water or sticky items or things that would potentially bother the credit card machine, leasing is a good option because the credit card company enables a leasing company to take care of that entire transaction. They will hire a leasing company to give you a 3 or 4 year lease, whatever is comfortable for your pocketbook. You don't have to come out of pocket with any money, and there's generally no down payment for most leasing companies. However, if you are a brick and mortar and you're pretty much a dry environment, I would say that lease to own may not be the best scenario for you. Perhaps a company that offers payment options where you take a $700 to $900 credit card machine into 3 payments, and that might make sense for you. But with a lease with an option to buy is a good scenario, but make sure that you know what is that end payment. I have had various companies that I've interviewed when I started my own consulting business, and I have found that the end purchase price can be upwards to 50% of the asking price, which is not fair. And I won't represent those companies.
Okay.
So at the end of the lease, a 10% buyout is fair. So if the machine at the time of purchase was $800 and your last payment is $80, that's fair.
Okay, I got that. Okay, great. So, so you can own your equipment or you can lease your equipment. Was one better over the other, or not really so much?
With regard to picking a lease, I would run that past your state ordinance as to whether it was the tax write-off. Various states allow you to write off business equipment, and a merchant credit card processing machine can fall under those guidelines depending what state you live in. So check with your accountant and ask them what the guidelines are for your state. That's when a leasing is a good option, when you don't want to have to come out of pocket for that machine.
Okay.
In addition, the leasing option allows you to get the latest equipment. In 2014, there's going to be a huge shakeup in the industry, Terry. The credit card machines are going to have what is called EMV technology, and that stands for Euro, MasterCard, Visa, and that is something that they've been threatening is coming down the pike. It's here.
Okay.
It's now going to be in existence, and all credit card machines will have to abide by Visa, MasterCard mandates of accepting those European chip cards.
Okay.
So merchants need to not be led astray by whether or not they should upgrade their terminals or buy a new terminal. They really should start shopping now.
Okay. Great advice to anybody in the business area. Buy now. or lease now, so that
Correct.
those types of devices are available for anybody.
Get a trusted
Perfect.
consultant to make sure that you're picking the right thing and not out of fear.
Okay, got it. Does your company have any type of a cancellation fee?
All the companies that I represent do not have cancellation fees. However, there are various companies that I represent that will offer a lock-in rate. And if you want to lock in a rate for any particular term, 1, 2, or 3 years, there are various companies that I represent that will be happy to lock in that rate and guarantee that for the term that you choose. But if you choose not to go into a contract or into a long-term agreement, that's absolutely fine by me.
Okay. And then, the one other question that really I'm curious about is monthly minimums. Are there monthly minimums for merchant service to have a terminal?
Monthly minimums are something that are in contracts that people are unaware of. That's something that you might, if you're a small business owner, look at your merchant statement and see if there's a monthly minimum fee. If there is, it's time to reach out and talk to somebody that might put you in a different scenario so that you're not paying that. That is a means by which a company is accepting fees even though you're not using the credit card terminal or the point of sale.
Okay, got it. PCI, I've heard that used with credit card processing as well. What does that mean exactly?
PCI is the acronym for Payment Card Industry, and what the best practice is for PCI is that cards are present, but if the cards are not present, what kind of safeguards is your company using to protect the cardholder data? And there are various different surveys that merchants must take to make sure that they are upholding the highest level of security for your card. And if they are not PCI compliant, there are fees to be paid, and the fees can vary from company to company and state to state.
Okay.
It's very critical that a merchant company make sure that their clients are compliant, so that they're not storing cardholder data that is open to fraud and fraudulent activity.
All right, awesome. Annual fees, are those common things that you would see with the merchant service contract?
Annual fees vary from company to company. I have some companies that charge annual fees, some companies that charge annual PCI fees to maintain the security of your merchant account. Those vary from company to company, and there are some companies that waive those fees, but because a company is waiving a fee, they may be making it up elsewhere. I will help to uncover that in an interview with any merchant.
Okay, great. And then, the one other thing that I'm always curious, what happens if the equipment goes down for whatever reason?
Back to the leasing option, if the equipment goes down, generally leasing companies have a guideline where they will provide a repair or replacement overnight. And generally speaking, a lot of times I recommend to a large volume or a heavy user of merchant services to have a redundant database, a backup terminal, if you will. If they have a point of sale, have a regular credit card machine. And the other fallback is the knuckle buster.
Oh,
You have that knuckle buster at your place of business, and that assures you that you could call in using your phone and get some authorizations for large tickets and keep your business. And also phone swipe is another fail-safe way to have credit card processing at your business in the fail-safe way in the event that there should be a fault to either, we live in the lightning capital, so as you well know, in Tampa, credit card machines, if they're not on a surge protector, they are a modem, so they're just as liable to get a zap from electricity and ruin the modem, and you now have a paperweight.
Okay, great. And it brings up another question. We were just talking about the phone swipes and how awesome they are to use, and businesses can use them. There's several different brands out there that are popular. Is there one that's better than the other? Are you more comfortable with one?
I chose to represent 3, and generally speaking, the pay-as-you-go is great for the little to no user. There are various phone swipes that go on your smartphone that are issued by Intuit. There are various phone swipes that are issued by other vendors. what I would do during the intake form, during the interview with the merchant, is to find out what is the volume that they're planning on taking with regard to credit cards, and then I would put them with the right device.
Okay, great. I want to switch gears just a little bit. We're getting ready to wrap up, but I did want to touch with you on something. Gift cards are really, really popular these days. And are you able to help a business get gift cards for their particular business, and then gift marketing, you know, how that can be incorporated into a business itself?
I have a passion for marketing and a passion for growing a client's business. And generally speaking, they do not want to engage in gift cards. And when I show them the data of where gift card and gift card marketing is going, they change their mind. Mm-hmm. Because if a business owner, I met with a business owner in a vacation spot, and they had status quo, they're doing a very good business, but they would like to grow their business just by a small amount. It's a very family-oriented restaurant. And I said, wouldn't it be great if you had a gift card with you and asked a neighboring restaurant to encourage, a neighboring store to encourage high-end users to go and have a bite on them. For instance, if you're a restaurant and you have a bike store next door and somebody comes in and purchases a $500 bike, that store owner could say, I'd like to give you a $10 gift card to Kiwi Island next door. They're good friends of mine and they give me gift cards, and I'd like to give you this $10 gift card. The likelihood of somebody throwing that away is slim to none. Mm-hmm. Nobody throws away gift cards. They are like billboards in your wallet. Right. And generally speaking, you will find a new customer that way, mm-hmm. or somebody will end up using that as a gift to somebody else. A gift card is a gift that keeps on giving. You can now turn that into a loyalty card and have that gift card come back to the restaurant, and the restaurant owner says, oh, thank you for using this gift card, where did you get it? And they find out the source, and now they know that this is a good referral partner for them. And they reward that person with more cards to reward their customers. And they potentially turn that reward client into a loyalty client and ask them if they would like to load more money on it, that they will up it by 10 or 20%, hence raising that dollar value for that one visit into their restaurant.
Okay, great. So much amazing information was shared here today. Merchant services are so very vital in any business or any garage sale in any community. So many great ways to use the new technology that's out there. Elizabeth, we talked about a lot of things today. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you want to discuss?
Well, what I wanted to let everybody know with pay-as-you-go programs is that a critical component of using a phone swipe on a smartphone, make sure there's an 800 number. There are various portable devices that you can put on your phone, and there's no 800 number behind that apparatus. So I really, I am very strongly suggesting that you pick a device that has customer service behind it, and check the 800 numbers of the companies that you are using. If it's not to your satisfaction in the length of time it takes you to get to your provider, feel free to reach out and research. Feel free to reach out to my website and tell me what you'd like to see different in your merchant processing scenario, because if it's not becoming to you, you should be coming to me.
Okay. Well, a great idea. Definitely great advice for all of you. Elizabeth Butterfield, she is amazing at what she does, and she will definitely help you find the right solution for your business. Questions for Elizabeth, give her a call at 813-833-7449. Again, 813-833-7449, or you can visit her website at www.perfectpaymentsystems.com. Again, she'll be happy to help you with anything. You've been listening to Go Mind Your Business. My name is Terri Bork with Extreme Marketing Concepts. Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining us today. I had a really great time.
I did as well. Thank you.
Okay, and I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. If you're ready to put your business in front of your competition and have a press release, we're happy to talk to you. Give us a call at 813-863-1452. Thanks one more time for joining us today. Until next time, go mind your business. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Go Mind Your Business with Terri Bork, presented by Extreme Marketing Concepts. If you want to drive more traffic, dominate the market, and crush your competition, find out how by visiting our website, www.extrememarketingconcepts.com. And join Terri next time for another episode of Go Mind Your Business.